What is going on tonight, racers? You got Bob and Kenny here from DPRC with special guests Zach Donathan from Donathan RC and Donathan RC team manager Mike Barkus. Many of you are probably familiar with Mike as he's a local New England fast guy. They're here to join us. We're about their product line that we've brought in to the hobby shop. We've searched high and low for a quality product that just sets themselves apart. You know, we've been trying to look for different lines that racers really want: quality, durability, and innovation. We've got these cables here that we're going to go over and some other stuff that I've just never seen it before, and the concept of it is great. So thanks, Mike and Zach, for joining us tonight and giving us a little tutorial on some product. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about Donathan RC. Zach, you started this mainly on charge leads, right?
Yeah, so I started. This is my 10th year in business actually. So I started making. I started by repairing charge leads that we had. My dad and I were racing at the time, and my dad got tired of buying the charge leads, and I was like, well, maybe I can fix them because his soldering skills were fine, but my soldering skills weren't that good when I started either. Um, but I was able to fix them, and then eventually it got to, well, this is kind of messed up now, and because the balance lead breaks off so many times, and you gotta move it back, and all the fun things we've experienced. So I started making charge leads for myself, and pretty soon my buddies saw them, and they wanted some, and I was doing a few options, a few colors, different lengths and such. And before you knew it, the next track over wanted some, and then the track after that, and then got into a few hobby shops, and it just kind of took off.
Yeah, so you were kind of telling us a little earlier that this has kind of turned into a family business, right? Like you've got some your cousins helping you, your mom,
Hmm.
which I think is fantastic. I know, like my wife and kids, or one of my youngest kids, they're very much into the RC and absolutely just love it. My oldest, he's just turned 18, so he's into other things right now, but I think he'll do
Yeah,
it. So,
yeah.
you talked about that balance lead. This is the balance lead on your cable. Now, this cable's got a bunch of different features on it, but it's got this white coating it's actually hard. I can't really, I'm sure I could bend it if I really tried, but it's hard and durable. And that's that balance lead that constantly breaks off on the battery. Um, but you came up with a better solution to it, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I
all of so I mean, it starts with there of things that are different on our product. So the main one that people see is the design looks different than some of the other um, cables on the market, and that's for a variety of reasons, but mainly it's for the ease of use. We found that those proportions work really well, and people prefer them. All of our bullet connectors that we use on our charge leads are actually designed by me. So they're designed for longevity and durability as well as ease of soldering because how many you got to solder a lot of connectors. And so the industry standard connectors aren't great for soldering. And so all of our connectors have gone through different iterations to get to where they are now. Um, so the bullet connector you're looking at there, we recently changed from. So we started out with a kind of a longer one. It was about an inch and a half long, and it was working great. But then the battery manufacturers weren't policing the tolerances on their 2 millimeter bullets. So this was kind of an industry standard connector. So what was happening is the 2 millimeter bullets were actually closer to 1.5 millimeters in diameter. So it was pushing that cage off when you went to push it down in there. So people were not able to use their balance links. And this happened for a couple years, and it seems to be fixed now, or at least we fixed the problem on our end. So not an issue for our customers. So we originally went to a solid design 2 millimeter bullet connector, and I didn't have enough time to do longevity tests. I only did about a month and a half of testing on it. And I'm kind of ginger with my products. I'm not too heavy handed. I should have maybe sent them to Mike. And he could have
Everything you
done
sent
some
me to test has worked flawlessly.
Yeah.
right. But so what happened is there's not enough material in the 2 millimeter connector, and it starts to smash over time, and so you get a connection error. Another thing that happens is it breaks off just again because there's just not that much material there. So went back to the drawing board and designed a different style cage bullet connector that won't push off of the barrel anymore. So beyond that, we use so that particular lead has a quadruple wall dual glue adhesive. So that's just fancy because we use a lot of adhesive heat shrink. So it's as durable as you can reasonably make it with that. And that the lead you showed there was our dual 2S. So with the dual 2S lead, you have to color. Well, you don't have to. You can choose different ways to mark your battery 1 and battery 2 for the positive and negative, because it's important to plug battery 1 into battery 1 and battery 2 into battery 2, because if you cross them, bad things happen, just like when you plug in batteries backwards. So
Yeah, so the dual, that's why I haven't showed the cable yet, but I went over to Mike's trailer at a race one night, and he was sitting there charging, and he had this cable with all these ends on it. I'm like, Mike, what's that? And he says, Zach hasn't talked to you about this yet. He says, we just got done testing them. We're going to be releasing them. So this here is a single cable. So this end would plug into your charger. This is the XT60 with a balance port. But on the other end, it has all these cables, and they are color coded. So red and black, but you see the little white there, and then that's white, and then the black's white as well. The other side, black, red with a blue tracer, all into one cable. So I know now what it is, but can you explain what the theory is or what the thought process was? Because this was just an awesome idea, in my opinion.
Genius.
thank you. So it's a dual 2S cable. So it's designed so that you can charge two 2S batteries off of one channel. So a lot of guys that are running the saddle pack configuration at 8 scale, or you have a fleet of 10 scale cars and you're trying to charge a bunch of batteries at the same time, it's kind of hard to keep up with it, even with like a quad. And a lot of the chargers nowadays have plenty of amperage or wattage to be able to charge more, but you've run out of, you don't want to charge it 80 amps, or you don't want to do crazy things. You just want to, get your battery charged, but you're kind of crunched on time, and you just want to plug it in and then don't have to worry about swapping batteries or whatever. Because I can imagine a scenario especially for the saddle pack cars, where you got one battery that's charged and one battery you think you charged, but you forgot to. And so this cable eliminates that altogether. So you would charge this as a 4S battery on your charger. And the idea is to, just to eliminate all that hassle. So, and these are actually designed with 6 balance wires in the 5-pin connector. So each bullet has a balance wire, right? So one of those is dual crimped, which is the first use of that I know of.
You know why I can't see it? Because every part of your cable is protected. Every inch of it has got heat shrink on it, and it's not just cheap heat shrink. It feels thick and hard. I mean, every connector is heat shrinked. It's braided. I was showing Zach. The most impressive thing to me was the heat shrink. Even the emblems are lined up perfectly straight. Like, it just shows that someone took the time to put these together. It wasn't just, thrown together in the back of a car on the way to a race. So if we were using this cable, and say you had dual 4300 packs, what would you set your charger to? You said you would charge it as a 4S?
Yeah, so let's say you have an iCharger, just because that's the charger I'm most familiar with. So when people ask me how they should set up their charger, they should leave the cells on auto, and then the voltage, the cells on ignore and the voltage on auto. So whatever comes as the default, because that way the charger is going to charge via voltage and not what you tell it to. So For the for the dual 2S cable, you should charge it for on a on the dual 2S cable, you should charge it as a 4S battery on your charger. So let's take this scenario. So you've got two 4300 batteries, and you set your charger up to charge 8600 milliamp on these 4S batteries. But really, they're only 4000 milliamps, or vice versa. They're 4600 actual milliamp in the battery. So if you set your charger to a specific milliamp, it's going to put that in there, and you might be over or under voltage, because not everything's perfect. Some batteries are going to have less milliamp, some are going to have more. The more you use the battery, the less milliamp it's going to be able to put into it. So the less runtime you have, more fade, such. So that's why it's kind of important to make sure your charger's set up correctly. And why some people have issues at tech, especially if you've never gone through this before.
Yeah, we see that sometimes with the LIHV batteries. They're charging at LIHV for carpet, which puts it over the 8.4 limit. So we went through that last winter quite a bit with racers charging, LiPo versus LIHV.
Mm-hmm.
So Big Cat says Zach is the man. I don't know if you know Big Cat.
I do know Bill.
Yep. Mike Pvine, where can I get those cables from? Mike, we stock the cables. They're on our website. If you want to order them, we can ship them to you. Another service that DRC, Donathan RC, also offers is custom cables. So if you're looking for a custom cable, maybe you want the coating in white or pink or green or blue, and you want it 5 feet long rather than 24 or 36 inches long, you can get them custom made as well. If it's something we don't have, we can order it from Zach and get it shipped up here pretty quick or right to you. So reach out to us, Mike, if you have any questions about the cables there.
Yeah, I like to. Go ahead,
Zach.
Mike.
One thing too, just to show kind of another lead that they came out with. A lot of guys up there, they run the this is a little different one, but the Gens Ace packs for people who may run the 6300 4S in a buggy and then have the 7500 that they run in a truck. Not sure why, but for some reason Gens Ace decided to make two different balance connectors for those batteries.
Yeah.
Why? No clue, but we tested also to that dual configuration, one cord with a balance lead for the 7500 and the 6300, so you can get one lead that will charge either or. So that was one that we also just came out with, that everyone that I've talked to said that's awesome. So
It is because that's the biggest pain at our charging station is you got one side of the charger doing 7500s and the other side of the charger is doing 6300s because you keep pulling those little balance leads off, and those are not protected like these are. So you yank on them so many times, the next thing you know, you need a new,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I try to, I'm an online shop, but without the racers, I don't exist. And there are no racers if there aren't any tracks. So I, encourage everyone to shop at your local hobby shop, and, make sure they have the products that you want. If they don't carry DRC, tell them to reach out to us. We're more than happy to set up them. Or if they don't have the right product that you want, message them, talk to them, see what they can do. A lot of them are more than willing to order stuff. They just don't, some of them don't know what they don't know. So you gotta, tell them, and it ends up being a win-win for the shop and and us.
Yeah, it's about education. I mean, we get people that come in all the time for charge leads, and it's like, we can sell you this one, but if you're looking to, let's say what Mike said, if you got 75 and 6300s, rather than going through the frustration of different adapters, we can sell you a cable that'll do both. So it ends up saving you money in the long run. You're getting a very good quality cable, in my opinion. So.
And then if you get the people who, want to order the custom leads, those do have a bit of a lead time on them because everyone is handmade by Zach. But if people need help kind of navigating what they may need, anyone who's on here or anyone who out there who may be interested in that, definitely feel free to reach out to me. I can walk you through the process and get you set up.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're much more in a cable company. And that's an important thing, right? So I've got a desk. So Donathan RC is a gold sponsor of the New England Dirt Nationals happening here in October, and they sent us a ton of product of theirs, cables and all different stuff. I mean, cables even for your cell phones, right? We got different cell phone charge leads. Again, braided. These are 6 foot long cables. I know I like the long cables when I plug it in next to my bed. I hate having a short cable, or even at the racetrack, plugging it in at the phone goes over the table, how about these kits? What are these all about? I know what they're about, but
Well, yeah. So those are our wire care packages, and so what those are is a sensor wire, bullet connector, solder, cable ties, and heat shrink for kind of the popular sizes. So those are all products that we offer individually, and we offer custom wire care packages on our website as well. And you can tell Bob what you want. Now those are more designed for 10 scale, because when I had those made up, so I don't, I just make up. I've got probably 200 of those made up right now, and I wasn't thinking 8 scale when I made them up. So those are kind of designed for 10 scale, just solely based off of the wire gauge. Most of the 10 scale using 12 or 13 gauge wire, whereas the 8 scale guys need more amperage, so they're going to use 10 gauge wire. Some of them prefer 12 gauge, but it kind of depends on your application and your amp draw and that kind of thing.
yeah. Are you making them? Are you gonna make them for 8 scale?
Yeah, we have them available for 8 scale right now. I'm making up some for another distributor of ours that we kind of discussed some different options, and if you want those, we can make them for you. I believe those ones have featured the JSM titanium battery grips in them, so there's like a little plastic case in there.
Yeah, there is a plastic case inside.
Yeah, so those are so we're the official JSM distributor for North America, and JSM is specializes in titanium products. So they're like a drift company, but they have some pretty cool products. Like they came out with battery grips was their first product that we got into, and then they moved into screws, and now they're into pinions, and now turnbuckles, and like it just keeps going. So they make really good products. I kind of don't do halfway type things. So if there's a lot of companies that sell cheap products, and I think those are great if that's what you're looking for. But I don't like that. That's not me. When I endorse something, I want it to be like the best that it can be within reason. So those are kind of that. I run the titanium battery grips on my car. I think they look cool. They're easy to pull off. You don't have to worry about the wires coming off. Stuff. So you can get those with or without, and we offer kind of, we're known for and for better or for worse. Like when people order a customized charging product and they give us feedback on the product, it's always there's too many options. I'm like, well, we have the options because they sell.
Yeah.
And it's the the bearer of offering a custom product.
Yeah.
And it's kind of tough with all the different chargers and this connection, that connection. It's kind of just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, there's 4 popular price batteries, and so like you have, your standard like your ProTech battery and your Gens Ace battery use the same exact connector, but they're wired differently. And then you have, like a 5-prong connector that's like that, but 1, 4, 5, and then you have a JSTXH male connector, which is the opposite of the female connector that all the other ones use. So it gets complicated very quickly for no reason, but it does.
Yeah. Now, what's the deal with the screws there, the JSM screws? You and I talked a little bit about these. These are titanium screws, but they're not
Yeah.
just any normal titanium, correct?
Right. So they're CNC cut. So that includes the thread and the head. So if you notice the head, they're They have like a whole bunch of faces on them, so they calls them the diamond head screws. A countersunk, or excuse me, a typical button head, which is just a dome. So it adds a little bit of flair to it. But more importantly, it adds a lot of strength to that screw. So there's a video on his social media page where he tries to strip out a titanium screw, and he can't do it. And the steel screw eventually rounds out, but the titanium ones are just super strong. So he uses a really good titanium, and then it's heat treated well, and then the anodizing process or the coloring process, I'm not sure the terminology there, adds some durability as well. So it ends up being an exceptional screw, and it does cost a little bit more. You're not going to compare these to the cheap screws, but they're as costly as other top name titanium screws, and they're available in the US and all that fun stuff.
Now, what do they offer these screws for? What kits, for everything, or for
So
pretty much?
right now it's just M3 screws. So he's looking into getting into other screws, but it's a lot of variety. So
Yep.
like the M3 screws, the popular models, if you take into consideration off-road, is like the popular sizes are 4 mil to 26 millimeter in 2 mil increments. And
Yep.
then you have to add countersunk into that. And so you go, 4 mil, and I think they're like 20 mil or 22 mil. And then you start putting in some colors in there, and it doesn't take too long to get out of hand. But so yeah, they have them in. So we can order any custom kit for you. We offer the screws they sell them in 4-packs. So we have the 6 colors in stock. I don't think we have green or silver, but we have their candy, dazzle, purple, gold, blue, and black.
They look like good screws. They come in a nice little kit that separates them. I don't know if you can see that very well, but
Oh yeah.
and then they got a pinion here. This pinion, just the color, you can't really see it in the camera, but it's like a purplish. It's pretty wild. Titanium pinion.
And so those work really good for off-road because rocks don't mess with them. Rocks, like, they'll chew up your spur gear still, but they won't chew up the titanium pinion gear. I've been trying to get them to make them for 64 pitch because I run on-road.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, first, brand new pinion gear, brand new spur, first time out, rock destroys them both.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that frustrating?
It is.
What else we got here? Lipo bags. We got this lipo bag's huge. I don't know how many batteries it fits, but
well, so I sent those because Mike likes those. And I don't race a ton of 8 scale anymore. So you could probably fit 4 4S batteries in there.
Yeah.
Mike would probably do a little bit better than that. But yeah, so I sent those because because Mike liked them, and I sold a ton at PNB when I went there over the LiPo safes, which are pretty small. You only fit like 1 4S battery in there. I mean, they're a good size. You can fit 2 2S batteries, maybe 3, depending on how you got them in there and what size they are and all that. You fit more shorties than others, but so yeah, but those are. Do you know how to tell the difference between a cheap lipo bag and a premium lipo bag?
I would love to know.
All right, so can you hold that back up? Can you wring that out like a rag? No, like.
Oh,
Yeah. Right. So your cheap ones, so you can let go of that. It'll fold back to its shape. Yeah. Your cheap ones have a break-in process, and you can't do that with them. They'll just stay in that shape. So that's it. That's an easy way to tell between the cheap versions and kind of the premium ones. They're a lot more flexible. So those are made with the best materials that I can buy. I can't buy a higher graded flame retardant material. They're made with flame retardant threads and seams. And it's kind of just the best I could come up with. I can get a lot cheaper ones that aren't as good, and are made with cotton thread and cotton seams, and cotton and fire don't mix, so it didn't make sense to me. So just try to do the best you can. And the cool thing is those just retail for $20, so they're not like crazy expensive, and the smaller ones are cheaper. So,
I'll be honest with you. I think other brand bags, which do not feel as heavy or as durable as this, are probably more than that. I'm just saying. So Mike likes it. It
Love
feels
them.
good.
Feels
It's
good in the
cheap.
hands.
Feels good in the hands.
I will
Yeah.
say too, when we're at PMB, not that we've become very stringent about lipo safety. I don't know if anyone's ever really seen a 4S pack go up, but
It's not pretty.
when we were at PMB this year, one of the guys we were with was in one of the horse stalls, and his went up, and we were in the horse stall, and just it was on a table, and it got to the point where my OGO was in a stall next to it, and the fire and sparks went up over the wall and down, and there's some little burn holes in my OGO bag. So it's like it's no joke, it's
Yeah,
we
especially
don't
during,
play around with the lipos any, it's everything's in a bag. Just
yeah.
it's
Especially during carpet season, we enforce it. We
Yep.
should probably enforce it even better. But even outdoors, by the time it goes up, you're not going to have time enough to react to get away,
no.
or to get,
yeah. So
something gets in your
so
eyes.
hopefully that puts out the fire and keeps it contained. In the event that it doesn't, now I didn't test the 4S battery. I didn't. Well, I was there when the batteries were tested. So nail got shot through one 2S battery and nothing happened. It was just smoke. But sometimes that happens when you shoot nails through lipo batteries, like everyone does. And so
Sounds like a fun
the
experiment.
the guy shot another one through it, and you can see a little fire through there, and kind of he did that with a couple other ones, and exciting, which is not what you want from a lipo fire.
Right.
So at the very least, these are enough time to put them in the sand bucket, to grab your bottle of dish soap, just get them to a safe place to burn down. You might lose a charge lead or something, but you don't lose your whole ride. Like 8 scales are stupid expensive. And if you got a battery in there and it goes up, like that whole thing, you just throw the whole thing away. It's not
Right.
good anymore. You can't use anything in there. It's
It's
going to have
cheap
some kind of
insurance.
damage.
Cheap
Yeah,
insurance,
$20.
$20, and yeah, I think it shows a level of professionalism too when you're charging in a safe manner, in the right way.
Right. I know Jose, after that happened, he was, every time you plug a battery in, he's like, "Is that in a bag? Is that in a bag?" And now
Yeah.
it's like, we get it, It's
We even store them in lipo bags just to be safe.
yeah,
Yep.
I have down here. I went and bought an actual safe because down here I got boats, planes, all that stuff, and I probably got 30 or 40 lipos in there, and I actually bought a regular safe just to put them in because I'm like, I don't want, weekend of
Sure.
racing, just pop them in the safe and leave them there till it's time to come
So,
back out.
I mean, I will say I've been around enough lipo fires, and I've done enough battery testing in that the main issue of what happens when a lipo catches fire is it's plugged in backwards and it's shorted somehow. It's overcharged or it gets over discharged. So like charging it happened at a oval race. A guy was charging a 1S battery in 2S settings, and then another one is, this can happen at 8 scale a lot more easily than 10 scale, but you over discharge the batteries below 3.0 volts per cell, or even 3.0 volts per cell. And the older the battery is, the more cycles it has, the more fragile it is. And so just kind of, keep that in mind. If you don't set the cutoff, make sure you know what you're doing and you run it for an appropriate amount of time. When it feels soft, just stop. Don't putz around for another lap. Just go up there and then take that battery out right away. Don't just safe practices.
Mhm.
And it's a good way to kill a battery too. We see it all the time. People will hit lipo, it starts, you can tell it's almost lipo, and they keep going until the car shuts off, and it's like, Then they're like, "Hey, what's a warranty on this battery?"
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
just bought this battery and it's junk.
yeah, it happens
You
all
don't
the
say.
time. It's like, listen, when the car starts to die, stop. So, what about these here? Looks like you got a whole line of 3D printed products for parts trays, and these are
Yeah.
pink
So
and silver.
yeah. So those are from WMH Racing, another brand that we partner with and distribute products. So he does all of our 3D printing. And so part of that, I asked him if he would to donate some stuff to races that I sponsor, because I was donating his product for a while, and it gets expensive, like it's just stuff's expensive, and so it costs him, just like it cost me. The main product in my cables is my time. That's why they cost what they cost, because you're paying me to make them. His product is not as time dependent, but it took a long time to develop those. So I worked with him and we developed the parts trays. We actually just developed another parts tray, which is a 9x9, which works really good if you're like building a kit or something.
Yeah.
So those are a little bit smaller. I think those are 3x6s, but they work really good in the pit. Unless you're like rebuilding a whole car, but maybe not in a pit.
Chasing your screws around.
Yeah, but so he donated those, and I give them to the races that I sponsor. But he also does a lot of cool motor things, especially for 10 scale cars. So we try to reach into the 8 scale market, and the 8 scale guys don't really care about motor tuning, which is fine. I get it. I don't like I don't care about motor tuning. Um, but the 10 scale stock guys really like motor tuning. So we have
I
a
like
whole variety.
it.
Yeah. So we have like a rotor check.
Zach, I think you froze up.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh-oh.
Mike freeze. Okay, so say you freeze up too, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, this is where you
Yeah,
chime
it's
in.
still good.
This is
It's
where
not
I
good.
can. All right.
It's something great that I love to see on the packaging, and you don't get to see this very often anymore. Is handcrafted with pride,
Yeah.
right here in the USA. We're seeing more and more constantly every day, getting hit with tariffs. T-Work, Schumacher, it's all starting to come in with the tariffs now.
Yeah.
So
And one nice thing about the, when Zach makes, referencing like the DRC leads and stuff like that, like he's it. He doesn't have a staff of guys that's making them. He sits there and makes every single one of them. So
that's what he was saying before the live. He's like, my mother comes over and heat shrinks all the leads for me.
yeah. Like
And,
I've
and
talked to him, off about like how much wire and how much, he goes through, and it's absolutely insane.
It's got
The
it.
amount of material that he goes through.
oh, I bet.
Oh, some charger leads and stuff. He'll do like from the back of the charger, sending him your charger and have him like make custom leads for you and stuff.
Yep.
That's been slick that he does too.
Yeah, he does do a service for the iCharges where he'll take them. He'll take the power leads or whatever coming out of it, and he'll customize those so you can match your charge leads. You can have nice, clean setup on them.
Zach, nothing big happened. We were just I was like,
me under
oh,
the
Mike,
fire
looks
there.
like you gotta pick up the pieces now.
That said no more.
Something I'm intrigued with that we got that I don't know what this thing is, and I'm hoping you can educate us all on it. Is this nice kit right here? I'm more
so
excited about the storage kit.
Okay. Well, we were considering selling those for a little bit, but the tariffs kind of put up.
I know what it is.
So that is so that's called the Loadmaster. So what it does is it uses a slave motor, and you plug that in line with your analyzing device. So you put your test motor. Let's say you're running 17.5. You put that in the one side with the colored wires, and you plug your other wires into the bank. and it has a brass coupler in there, and you put them together and you run your analyzer. What that does is it puts a load similar to what you would have on the track. So, and then we came up with this nifty spreadsheet so you can kind of find your optimal timing zone for your motor with that specific rotor. So what that does is it takes a lot of guesswork out of it, because when you show up to a track, especially with a new motor or a new rotor or whatever, and you're trying to figure it out, then you don't know. Like, you just have to test a whole bunch of stuff. This gives you a small range of, in general, it depends on the motor. Some motors, it's 1 degree. It's, you got like 33, or excuse me, 43, 44, 45. That's your optimal range. So you can go, set it at 44, go up or down 1, and that's it. Some are like 5 degrees, and it kind of depends on the motor. But it takes the guesswork out of tuning motors and gives you kind of your ideal timing range, so you know where that goes. And essentially, it's just it's where the X crosses. Some of them aren't quite that spelled out. Some of the times it's just a little drop in the performance, but you can normally see it right away.
Nice.
Yeah, I got fortunate to be able to use one of those at Snowbirds 2 years ago with Manny G quite a bit and Mark Smyka, and we got to find a lot of things, and I've been able to use it, and I'm still using my findings today.
Yeah.
Like, anytime I do people's motors, I'm pretty much setting them up the same way I did, and they're pretty close. Everybody's been very pleased with anything that I've touched for a motor build for them or something.
Nice. What else we got here? DRC power supply, 750 watts.
Yeah, so those are made in Indiana by a gentleman who I did. The problem with me is I have more products than time. So I just had to start finding people who could make stuff. Like, our distribution blocks are made by a guy in Kentucky, because the guy in Indiana was too busy to make anything else for me. So he does our discharge boxes and our power supplies, and he does a great job with them. I wish he was a little bit closer, but it's kind of, it's all right.
Now I'm going to open this because you said to me earlier that this is not just a regular run-of-the-mill power supply. It's got 3D.
Yeah.
3D keys.
So you'll notice to start out with, there's a power cable on top. So that's a 3-foot power cable, and it's made with 16 gauge wire, which is rated for that power supply. Some of the power supply cables you buy or get with your power supply are made with lesser gauge wire, and it's not rated for what you're putting it through. So did my research on that, and then so that there.
Oh, this thing looks wicked cool.
So it's got our wrap on it, and it has the housing on the front there is printed by WMH for us, and it has a 3.1 amp USB on it as well. So you have the 3 outputs, a super high quality USB, which I don't know if you guys have ever tried to plug your new, like, if you have a newer phone, you can't just choose any outlet to plug something into.
Right.
It won't charge. So that's kind of a big thing I've been noticing recently, and I wanted to make sure that moving forward we're properly able to do that. We're actually eventually going to be working on a USB-C one as the RC industry starts to convert. They're about 5 years behind the curve on compared to the rest of the world. Like, new people that get in, they're like, why are we still using the USB-A, which is what the standard USB is? And it's just kind of what the industry demands still.
Yeah, I can all the time. I'm looking for a cell phone charger, which I never have, and then once I find one, I got nowhere to plug it in. I'm always looking at my charger, going, "Man, I wish it was a cell phone lead on
Yeah.
that."
So we also, I think you should have a distribution block and a multi-port USB in the prices I sent you as well. No, those are the power supply cables. So those are super flexible versions of the ones that come in the box. So those are a lot more expensive to make. And then if I included those in the box, I'd have to charge more. I was trying to keep it under $100 and kind of like,
So this cord will handle the 75 watt or 75 amp power supply.
yeah, no problem. And then if you go up, if you need more, like some people are running like a 24-volt power supply, offer a custom version with 12 gauge wire, so you can get after it. But anyway, so we
I don't
offer
see any
distribution.
locks.
That's
No.
okay. Maybe I didn't send them. I thought I did.
I know I
There's a
got
whole bunch of stuff.
different packages of cables.
Well, the problem is with, like I was saying, with 4S batteries, there's so many types. And
There is.
types of things, and the gold package is a little expensive. So I had to, I wanted to show off the product line that we're, and then I wanted to, make sure that your racers could use them. So you're kind of, I'm going through stuff, and so you got to make it work.
Yeah. And that's, we started, I think, with you with maybe 20 SKUs. And then the first week of selling the product, we were selling it, and people had chargers that we didn't have the cables for. So we, I think, brought in another dozen different SKUs of cables. So, but they're very specific and for your need, for the racer's needs. If you're running an older charger with banana plugs in it, or XT60 or 90 or whatever it may be. So, then it looks like we got a charger here, quad smart charger
from Toolkit RC. So that's so I don't give away too many chargers because they are quite expensive. Right, but I want to show people like we're not just a cable company anymore. So that's why I send a whole variety of products to these races. So we sell a variety of Toolkit chargers. So we have their quad QS6. We have their super popular M8D, which is a touch. We have a little charger from them called the M6D, which is smaller than my phone. Like, I don't have tiny hands, but it's smaller than this. It's a dual charger. It'll do 20 amps. And we have another one that's an AC charger from them. And then we have a few other accessory products. We also offer iChargers. And we kind of have a whole, we have, like I said, we have discharge boxes. So if you're into discharging your battery, we do that. We offer heated LiPo sleeves as well if you want to heat your battery versus discharging it to heat it, which is a whole thing, especially right now.
going down a rabbit hole.
Well, but yeah, so we offer a variety of products. And so if there's, if your pit has a product in it that you're not happy with or whatever, feel free to reach out to Bob or myself, and we'll get it taken care of for you. We're going to start offering custom 3D printed services. So, let's say you have a specific need that nobody's making a product for and that you want, like a 9x9 parts tray. That was a request from a customer. We showed it to a few people, and they go, "Wow, that's awesome! I would love to build a kit on that."
I like that idea.
Yeah. So, it ranges from a variety of different things. What you got there, Mike? Oh, right, the M8D. So that's a
Awesome
cool
little charger for 10. I use for 10 scale. Tiny.
Now, Mike does have big hands.
I do.
Yeah.
Screen folds up.
So
Which
it's
one is
touch-
that one?
Touch screen. Yep.
But it also has a dial on the side
Yeah.
there.
You can also
on the
use this
right.
dial here.
Yeah.
Super user friendly charger. I
It'll do 30 amps per channel.
absolutely love that thing.
2S. I don't know 4S. I assume about half.
Nice. Yeah, we're excited to be carrying your product line. We think that, again, it's quality. It gives you the racer the edge of maybe something they don't have already. Kenny, what's going on there?
I got one of the dogs just kind of leaning against me here. You just come in and decide, you gotta sit down next to me.
Well, we're super excited. We can't thank you and Donathan RC enough for sponsoring the New England Dirt Nationals. It's turning up to be a great event, and hopefully we get you out up here for it. If not, send Mike a pop-up tent, and we'll put him under the tent for the weekend.
I told Mike he should go. Mike, if you want, I have a.
I will most certainly be there. If anyone has any questions or need any help with anything, definitely just let me know. I will be there. I'm happy to help with whatever I can.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and I still, like I said, I still race. So we started this conversation a while ago, but when I started racing on loose dirt, back in my day, we were racing on loose dirt, probably what you guys are racing on now. Most of the 10 scale world is clay now, but I've raced just about every class there is. Not the newer ones now. I got to get back to it. But I like mod touring cars is my jam. So I still go out to the track every once in a while. I went out to PNB this year. I tried to go to different races. I'll be at the Florida Carpet Championships. Will be my next kind of big race in November.
That's a
You can
feature.
do Cleveland at all, or
No, so every other year I do Cleveland. So last year I did Cleveland. This year I'm going to do Family Thanksgiving.
yeah, that's
So,
tough.
Yeah, I would love to come to this race, but I'm doing family stuff. This is the year of family stuff. It's kind of how it worked out. Everyone wanted to do stuff. We've been somewhere or we've had family down here every weekend for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Which is just how it ended up working out.
Yeah.
No, family comes first for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
we understand that absolutely. But, Mike Barkus is the mayor of New England. Mike, you got a
Oof.
huge, great presence here in New England. So, Steve, I think that was a compliment from Steve.
Is that from Hampton?
Love you, Steve.
Let's see, we got Cody on here. I'll be there for the September race, November 1. Does anybody have any questions for Mike or Zach while they're on? If not, you can shoot us or them a message, and I'm sure they'll be happy to answer it for you.
For sure.
Again,
like I said, if anyone's
guys-
ordering something on the site, has any questions or just not really
Yeah.
sure, definitely reach out. I'm happy to walk you through it, and get you squared away.
Alternatively, you can reach out to DRC. We do have social media. It's Donathan RC. You can message us on there. You could, if you're friends with me on social media, you can message me there. You can give me a call. If you see me or somebody trackside, feel free to do that. We do have quite a few. The number one product we still offer is our custom charging products. They amount for probably 50% of our total production. And we have over 10 quadrillion options, which is a 10 with 12 zeros behind it. And it's probably more now. That number is a few years old, and we've added some products, so it's probably a little bit more. But so yeah, it's just we offer a ton of variety because that's what everyone wants. Like we work with 12 scale racers, we work with oval racers, carpet and dirt, off-road, 10 scale. We work with on-road racers, both 8 scale and 10 scale. All of the 8 scale racers we try to work with. We work with 5th scale racers as well. And they're kind of everyone different. Everyone needs what works for them. So if there's a battery out there, we make a charge lead for it.
Awesome. Well, we thank you guys again for joining us. If you guys want, Kenny and I are going to stay on. We're going to go over the point series race we got this weekend. But again, if you got any questions, feel free to reach out to them or us, and we'll point you in the right direction. If you want to put your hands on some of this stuff, I'll make sure we have all the stuff we went over today. We'll have up at the hobby shop at the track on Saturday and Sunday this weekend, so you can feel it, the lipo bags and stuff, the chargers. Steve Hansen says you're welcome. So, all right, guys, thank you. All
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
right,
All right.
bye-bye.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
Thanks, Zach, again.
Thanks again, Zach. Yeah.
All right, guys, that was good. I'm glad we did that. We got a bunch of new products coming up.
Oh.
Some big things going to be happening. I know we got another huge announcement for you guys. We're closer to being able to tell you, but I think next week. I'm hoping next week is the release and the announcement. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. But the next one's very big for us. I know it's something we've been looking to do for quite a while. So, and then this weekend we got a little race going on, right?
Yeah, we got was it the third of our point series? Yeah.
Yeah, 3 of 5 point series we got going on. We're gonna be open all day Saturday at the track. So if you want to come up, race, hang out, practice, you're more than welcome to. It's $10, get you all day practice. And then Sunday we're gonna do 2 quals and a main, and I think it's $30
I believe
Sunday.
so.
Sunday, I believe Sunday's $30. So.
Yeah.
We just came off of our big race there a week ago. Week and a half ago.
Yeah, we can have.
That was awesome, man. I'm still thinking about that. We took this weekend off just to relax a little bit and regroup, recuperate. You and I hung out at the track quite a bit, and I think Chris Eldridge came up.
Yeah.
We had a ton of people stop at the track this weekend. Bob Robichaud came up. Chris Eldridge did quite a bit of work on the track Saturday, I believe.
I like the one out there. I checked it out today when I was there.
Yeah, he got some cool little things to work. So yeah, so I think you guys will be happy with it. We did try some new things on the track. Didn't work out quite exactly how we were hoping, but we're in contact. We're trying to get the dust to stay down, and I know for the July or for the last race there, it got pretty dusty on one of the days. We ended up using laundry soap, which worked pretty well. We did try a new product last weekend during some practice time, but we need to use a lot more of it, and it's very expensive. So we'll probably only use it for when we're going to be having a big race. So and see what it does.
Did it like it worked or?
It did. It was huge. It was night and day difference. But there was still dust, nowhere near what it was. So
yeah. I mean, the same with the detergent. It was good at first, and then it still came back around.
Yeah, and this stuff is Envirotech. They want you to use a 55-gallon drum of it to 250 gallons of water. So but the drum is super expensive. But if it works, it works great. But we don't want to waste it on a practice day type of thing. So,
yeah.
No, Mike Barkus, please no calcium. Mike, I promise you we're not going to be putting calcium in that track. So if anybody wants to look it up, Envirotech, it's like it looks like milk in the drum, and the military uses it for overseas in dusty areas for their roads. So it's non-corrosive, it's environmentally friendly. It's great stuff. So we made sure it was not corrosive at all, and we have zero plans on calcium. We would just continue to water if that was the case, or use laundry soap. I'll tell you what, smelling the track, it smelled minty or flowery.
Yeah, wasn't bad smelling.
Yeah. We did announce, and we're gonna keep going with that on our trophy events. So the next one coming up is the Vermont State Champs. We're gonna do a 2-day event, so there'll be 2 quals on Saturday, and then last chance on Sunday, followed by the mains, just to try to get some of you guys that have been traveling quite a distance. I know Mike Barkus and Jose had a long ride Sunday. So if we can try to get people out of there by 5, let's do it. Steve Hansen, time to talk business. That's right. So we're going to change that for the Vermont State Champs. The New England Dirt Nationals, I think that's a 3-day event anyway. We'll be open for 4 of them. And then the Turkey Throwdown is after that, if we can have it in November. Hopefully, last year we raced in November, and we could have had another race in November because we didn't have any snow and the weather was decent. So we did take some polls today, though, Kenny, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. We asked our crowd what they would like to have for the winter, and I mean, we've been tossing around some ideas since the other tracks put down their schedules, and it kind of, they kind of pigeonholed us into a little spot, but it wasn't bad. We're able to work right out of that, and it's just trying to come up with the best solution for our racers that everybody's going to be happy. I mean, we want our racers to be taken care of, and still be able to go to other racetracks. And you don't want to have us just everybody being stuck at one track and all the time. And be able, the more we can spread the love around too, it helps. That comes back to us in the end too.
Yeah, so we're thinking of obviously in our situation, the amount of people we've been having, to be doing this in a small facility just wouldn't work. For the big plans and ideas that we have, a small place isn't going to work. And obviously it's in our dealership, so we have to essentially close the store and put the track up and then take it back down on Sunday so our workers can come in and work on Monday. But we threw around the idea of possibly holding back-to-back races. So once the track was down for one weekend, we could push through having it down for a week and making provisions for that, and then having a trophy event the following weekend. My thought with that is it's going to be tough for some people, I think, to get a hotel or travel 2 weekends in a row. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. We're trying to give you the most racing we can. We'd like to be able to work the track half as less as we do. Brandon, we don't mind early Fridays. Yeah, I know you guys don't. So I'll go on our Facebook page, check the racing. I got mixed feelings about it. I like the every other weekend or a point series and a trophy event once a month.
Yeah, I think that was a consensus I got from between the posts, and then everybody who was kind enough to reach out. I mean, that was great. I love it when we get feedback right away. That's what we need. To make a great show. You need feedback from our racers, and having that input is always the best, because if there's something that we're doing that you don't like, then tell us about it. Don't not say anything, because we've all been there. We've all been to a race that something was going on. They were like, man, if this little thing wasn't changed, things would be so much better. Say it,
And
always
we may
open
not
up.
be able to implement it immediately, but we hear you, and we keep it
Yes.
under our hat, and we talk about things we should try to change, and we get it out when we can, or if it sees right. Mike Barkus, fill the building with dirt. Mike, I have been looking at buildings, and
Oh, no doubt.
we
It's
just looked
dirty.
at one. Yeah, Mike, I hear you, man. This one even had a ventilation system in it, though, Kenny. It was perfect.
Oh no. See, because that's a nitro. I didn't even know. I'm just kidding.
No, I know. Indoor off-road track, Mike. That would be my ideal thing. We even looked at a multi-level building where we could have carpet upstairs. But nitro. I hear you. So we are excited. We're again point series this weekend. We love seeing you guys, spending the weekend with you. I know I'm pumped up about it. We got Josh right now. I don't know if he's talking to me because we've got 4 cases today, and I think there's 3 more coming tomorrow from J Concept of Tires.
Oh man.
So yeah, all the dirt bites are back in. We got some new ones, dirt webs this time we're going to be trying and trying out. We got a bunch of promotion tires in as well. Some people wanted to try some different promotion. I personally like the promotion. I like the JCs too, but promotion Raptors for me have been pretty well. And the Vipers. Matt Pearl is the best looking guy at RC. I take offense to that, Steve. Josh is watching. So, no, Josh has been doing a fantastic job checking in parts. We've gotten a ton of stuff in, a bunch of new products. We're going to be bringing you some stuff that I think you guys are going to like. I know we're so excited. Can't wait to release what's happening next. We're just waiting for some finishing touches on some things, and you guys are going to be pumped. I promise. So, Mike, make you a close number. You're a close number 2, Mike. What else we got tonight? Anything we had to go over?
I mean, really, the recap, the series, Jonathan. I mean, that's really the big things that, besides, trying to get that input from the poll, which like I said, I feel like we've pretty much got enough that, we can kind of move forward with what we need to do.
Yeah. We are going to be coming live to you hopefully tomorrow. Again, if Josh gets his rally cars in, not this weekend. This weekend we have point series, but next weekend, myself, Kenny, Anders, Enzo, Mason, we're all headed up to the Quebec Classic, which we're pumped about. But the DPRC crew is going to be up at Team O'Neill Rally School, right in Dalton, New Hampshire here. We're going to go live this week with you. You're able to go up there, get a ride in a rally car with a pro rally driver. You will be up there with the RC cars, doing racetrack stuff. We'll have some cars that you can try out. So, maybe if you don't own an RC car, want to see what it's all about, go up. We'll have some rally RCs there. We'll have some Traxxas slashes, some oval cars, all different things to show you. I think Bob Robichaud is going to be going up to that, Bill Segal. So we'll have a presence there. So we're going to have a busy couple weeks for the DPRC crew. Do you see Mike I don't know if you want to comment on this. Mike Barkus, any Roar plans for 1-8 regional next year? Yeah, so
Yes.
I'll say, Kenny, you have taken this position in a few weeks and have been absolutely running with it. And I think it's absolutely fantastic for New England. And so I don't know if you want to comment to that, but.
Yeah, I mean, we're more than likely we will have that and the state champs. I think we should integrate our state champs into that as well. Vermont state champs Roar race, because that's just a stepping stone towards that regionals.
Yeah, I think, some people are hesitant on Roar. I think it's just, it needs to be, it's been silent, right?
Yeah, and especially in our region, it's been really quiet in our region for quite some time. We haven't had a director in 3 years. Like I took over and I had a year of backlog emails that I've been kind of funneling through the last week now, trying to reach out to people that hadn't been attended to and, see if they're still interested in what they want to do.
I think they picked the right guy for the job. I really do, because I think your passion for it and your drive is there. And I think putting New England on the map is what we need. And we've got, and in my opinion, some phenomenal racers in New England. And
and in the past, there's been multiple national champions that have come out of New England. I mean, we have a few that show up to our carpet races, and to our, our off-road races. It's awesome. That's always a huge thing.
Go
Nope. Yeah, go right ahead.
We are working on finalizing the Roar carpet for this year. We talked a little bit tonight already about it, or today, and we're going to hopefully narrow some things down on that. But we're excited to be able to host it here. It's a big step for DPRC for sure.
Yeah, having a regionals is definitely it's a big step. I mean, that's one thing talking about the regionals is I really haven't had a chance to mention it to many of our racers yet, that there is this is working towards a bigger thing in a whole too. It's going to be going to a ranking system. There's going to be a ranking system that's going to be implemented in the next 3 years. It's going to take 3 years for the regionals to catch up to what the national level is, which supposedly in either this week or by the weekend, there should be a listing of the top 100 national racers listed by Roar. And what they're going to do is they're going to compile the same list with the regionals, and it's all going to integrate together, you know, by races won. And there's an equation that goes through that, you know, it takes into a fact that if you go to a race that only has 30 people, that you're still getting the same points that you would have gotten if you won versus, you know, you're not getting the same. It's like, it's all the points work out, and you're not getting like, you're not getting sandbagger points, shall we just say it in a nice way. I'm like, that's a nice way to put it, you know. I'm like, you're not over explaining it, you know, because that's what's happening. You know, you will have people that will headhunt a race and for things like that. And it's like,
Right.
This eliminates all of that.
Do you think Steve Hansen's going to make that list?
I got a good feeling he will. I got a good feeling he will. Oh,
He won't make the off-road list. I know that.
no.
I don't think he's got what it takes.
Oh.
So, no, we're excited for you, Kenny, and I know you've been doing a lot of work with it and reaching out to all the tracks in New England. You know, not just us. And Steve, I love you, buddy. To everybody. So I think that's good, and I think people want to sheave and race anymore. Mike Marcus says.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I think it's good that you're reaching out to everybody and not just us. I mean, I know you've been in contact with quite a few people. So
Yeah, you know, I mean, our region's a lot bigger than we would really think. You know, it's all the way over to, you know, to Buffalo, and you know, all the way over.
So why don't we tell everybody what is the Roar Region 1? Because it even includes Canada, doesn't it?
No, it does not anymore. At one point in time, it used to include Quebec, but now they have their own director up there. So there's one large region. Canada is owned just one region now.
Gotcha.
But our region includes it's New England and New York, all of New York, New York City and state.
Oh, really? So New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, we have maybe a dozen really active tracks in that region. So, you know, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good. Has anybody got any questions for us, Kenny? Anybody? Anything anybody wants to see happening? I know, like I said, we got a busy couple weeks for us. And then, yeah.
Can we just tell the ones that are nipping at the bits that there will be indoor racing in November of some form?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right, because I know there's been enough asking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we look at the carpet stuff every day. And honestly, I wouldn't mind a good carpet race, but it's been hot out. It's been really hot.
Blistering hot. Like today when I was at the track, I was like, wow, it is hot.
Yeah. Yeah. So we haven't been doing much work up there. I've been kind of staying out of the heat. So.
Yeah, Enzo was telling me it was pretty brutal over the weekend.
Roar rules 17.5 sponsored driver allowed or no?
17. Okay, so 17.5 is sponsored drivers. That's everybody. 21.5 will not be any sponsored drivers. If you've made a top 5 in our races or in our region, I will know, and you're not going to be running 21.5. But I will say anybody else, it's free game for them. And I encourage it. I think it's a good stepping stone because it's going to be a little less classes too. That's something that we haven't mentioned either. That race will be, you know, we're just going to have what do we have? It's just going to be 21.5, 21.5, 17.5, 40 plus mod 2-wheel buggy. Then it'll be stock so stock, which is 13.5 four-wheel drive, and we'll see what we have for interest on the 40 plus on that side. And then what was it we talked about an exhibition class of short course. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, I think it's a good start. And then, like I said, we just can't have, we'll monitor the racers that are going into 21.5, because that's going to be the more beginner class.
Sportsman class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to have a pro stock class, because you're breaking apart 17.5 too far at that point. Too many classes. That's something we do need to thin out a little this winter, as we do need to work on our class structure, because the timing, it's all about timing, to get everybody out of the door on a good time.
Right. In a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Matt Pearl, let me start with Steve Hansen, motor teching. So during a Roar race, so like the Roar regionals, they will send somebody to do motor tech.
So that's on my discretion. I can either take over tech, or we can reach for outside service of tech, which I might do with having somebody sent to us, and they'll appoint somebody, one of the other directors or one of the other executives that they'll send to run tech, and they'll bring all the tech equipment and everything like that.
Right.
And that's something that I kind of think we should do, just because it's going to get everybody in just more of a even playing.
Yeah.
I mean, so it'd be like you would drop your motor off in tech on Saturday. Say we'd have, with the regionals, we'll end up having practice on Friday. Saturday it'll be qual. Sunday it'll be a qual and a main. So we would do is drop our motors off on Friday. They would get teched in. They'll have a seal on them, and that'll be the motor you can use. And if there's any question at that point, that car gets brought back to tech at the afterwards, and your top qualifier will get brought through tech in your classes as well.
In this race being Roar regionals, that helps racers that are doing the Roar circuit to place for position in the Roar Nationals, does it not?
Right now it doesn't have as much bearing as it used to, but that's part of the ranking system that's coming back. That's they're trying to get the ranking system, and then that will bear more weight as far as you're graduating to the next event.
Matt Pearl, regular mod 2-wheel drive buggy ?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be mod, and then there'll be the 40 plus. Those are your normal Roar classes. I
don't know about the mod buggy 2-wheel drive. Last time Mason did that cost a lot of money. Remember that weekend? He put all that mod stuff in his car.
Yeah.
Sunday he took it all out. So.
Yeah, I mean, Hanson and I hot lapped those mod cars with our 17.5 cars, so they got to step it up. Oh.
He's not respected. So as time goes on, we'll get into the carpet stuff. We got a bunch of stuff we're gonna finish finalizing and getting some stuff together and out to you guys. Right now we're finishing up dirt season, or not finishing. We're halfway through, but It's been going great. So very happy with this season so far. It's been a lot of work, and we keep talking. Next year it'll be less work because all the big stuff's done. So.
It'd be just the track work that'll really be the big work. That'll be, and that's not that bad, because we talked already, there'd be like a 3 maybe layout change throughout the year, and that's yes, those weeks coming up to those layout changes are very, very time consuming, but after that it's not so bad.
That was a lot of work to do that last layout, and we're gonna run it for this point series, and then for the Vermont State Champs, we are going to be changing it. The mountain will come down, obviously, and then we'll change it up. I did talk with Joey yesterday, I believe, or Monday, whatever what today is. So Monday, I talked to Joey Monday, trying to figure out some dates when he's going to be coming out, because he'll do the next full track change for us for
Now, will
the.
that be right before the race, or is it going to be maybe for the one
We're
race
gonna-
before?
Yeah, it probably will be one race before, because that was a problem with him
Good.
last time. It wasn't a problem with him. It was a problem with the weather. We got him out here literally the week before the race, and it
Yeah.
rained. It poured, so he was limited to what he could do. The machine was getting stuck, just like it was for us doing this layout. We couldn't move. At one point, we're stuck in a hole, and so we're hopefully get him out here before, so we have some weeks of, hey, it's going to rain next week. Cancel next week. Let's go to the next week, or move some stuff around to get him in here. So we'll keep you posted on that. We'll let you guys know who the pros are that are coming. I heard another big name thrown around today, just waiting for confirmation on that one. So pretty excited about that one as well.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we hope to see you all this weekend. Again, we'll be up there Friday night, Saturday all day practice for $10, and Sunday be 2 quals in the main for the point series, 3 of 5. If you haven't been coming to the point series, it's no problem. You can still come and race and get your name up on the board. So still plenty of time left. Well, we love just racing with all you guys and having a good time.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing everybody this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Have a good night, and
Have a good
we'll
night,
see you
everybody.
next weekend. Thanks, Kenny.
Yeah, thank you.